All right, guys. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Appreciate it as always. Thank you. So tonight we're talking about cashless society and the CBDC expansion. My God, every time I think of CBDC, I think of weed, marijuana, that shit. But I think it's CBDs, right? Anyway, so guys, the cashless society is expanding. So is the CBDC, the central banking digital currency. Thank you for the 5 by 5 Mr. Landfill, Paul, Storex, if that's how I'm saying it. Kathleen, thank you for the 5 by 5 26 feet. Oops, okay. Vision and another friend. Thank you for the 5 by 5 Appreciate it as always. And Wolf Mule, Ghost Lincoln, Adriana, Big Billy, Gary the Bulldog Prepper, interesting. And Shadow Prepper, thank you for the 5 by 5 guys. And WTC. So, I should have a whiskey tonight, Jason, but I'm not getting up. I'm going to do this and then I'm going to go lay down. Because I'm just super tired, man. Again, you know what? I might be overdoing it, but I'll see tomorrow. I'll see how I feel when I get up. Leah, thank you for the 5 by 5 I appreciate it. So, guys, Nigeria. We're going to start with Nigeria. So, India became a semi-cashless society. They, back in 2016, right? And Cramsey, thank you for the 5 by 5 In 2016, they became a semi-cashless society. So I'm actually editing a video I'm releasing tomorrow. So actually, after I get off of here, I got to edit a couple videos, and then I'll lay down. But anyway, Henry, thank you. Henry, thank you for the 5 by 5 Jeffrey, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. So with that, guys, Nigeria became a cashless society that adopted the CBDC live retail. Now, the CBDC live retail, guys, is where you're able to buy shit. You're able to transfer the money to another person, point-to-point sales, things of that nature. They went live earlier this year. If I'm not mistaken, it was January 9th. ATMs were no longer going to dispense Nigerian high denominations of 1,000 nairas and 500 nairas. Not naira, sorry, nairas. The 500 nairas is equivalent to $1.10 here, and the 1,000 nairas is 225, right? So they're no longer able to pull that out. Now, they're able to withdraw cash, guys, but they're only able to withdraw $225 a week in cash. The $125 a week divided by 7 is $32.12, I think. And the average Nigerian spends $40 to $45 a day. Again, $32.12. Right? So, with that, guys, that's bullshit. Yeah, $32.14, sorry. It's $32.14. And $32.14. So imagine spending $40 to $45 a day and your shit getting cut down to $32. So now it forces people to join the system they didn't want to join, because you can't live off of $32 a day if your average living is 40 minimum, 45 tops a day. So people in Nigeria started starving because they weren't able to feed their family. Now, a lot of people, adults if you will, they don't have regulated financial institutes. So they don't have an account with a regulated financial institute, but they do have accounts with other institutes that are not regulated. Now, CBDC usage went up 60% after they instituted this. Keep in mind, only 45% of the adults had a regulated, So there was a 60% jump in joining CBDC because people were starving. They couldn't feed their families, right? And they had long lines at these ATM centers where they withdraw cash from. So they don't have traditional. They have traditional banks, but they have more of those ATM centers than they do traditional banks. Nigeria pulled a shitty move and changed notes. Notes are like dollar bills, for those that might not know. And they changed the notes and went to a current, newer note, but they printed less than they were actually supposed to. So Nigeria's government essentially admitted to screwing that up. They created less notes, therefore there's less cash available in these ATMs, and a riot broke out in multiple Nigerian cities because the banks shorted them, or rather the government shorted them on cash. They also coincidentally had a gas shortage at the same exact time. See the timing of this shit? Actually, the gas shortage started probably in 2022 at the end of the year, but the gas shortage ran over into the next year when they came up with this cash shortage as well. So they used the starving tactic to get people to join it because again, you don't have cash to pay for food because you're limited to $32 a day now. You know. Sorry, you're limiting people's food consumption now. So this screwed over a lot of people. A lot of people wind up having to join the system. And like I said before, you guys heard me say this before, and I'll say it again. They're going to create a problem here in this country. They're going to create a problem here in this country, and the CBDC is going to be the solution. Now, the Federal Reserve has said, you can go on the Federal Reserve website, though I take what they say with a grain of salt. They're going to implement the CBDC along with cash. So they're going to use this system as another point of financial reference or financial means. Sorry. They're not going to take away cash. But I'm going to call bullshit on that. Because yes, they can't do what they did in India, where when India, they got rid of their 1,000 rupee. Sorry. They got rid of their 1,000 rupees and 500 rupees in less than a night. So the president or the prime minister of India goes on national TV in India and announces that the 500 rupee and the 1,000 rupee is illegal tender as of tonight. What the fuck? So now people who had 500 or 1,000 rupees in their pocket were no longer able to use it as of that night, at 9 o'clock that night. They gave people no time to get the smaller denominations or notes. So instead, they screwed a lot of people over. Now, maybe the banks took those notes and gave them smaller I didn't read that. I'm only assuming maybe that's how they did it for them, because you can absolutely screw people over with those notes, and now they can't do anything with it. And it's bullshit that they fucking sprung it up on them and gave them no warning. So a lot of the shit I read, they said there was no warning, and some people said there was. Tomatoes, tomatoes. But I don't see them doing that here, but I do see them creating a cataclysmic financial event that's going to lead a lot of us to turn around and go, fuck, we're going to have to join the system. Now, I did a video that I'm releasing tomorrow as well, how the CBDC is bad for preppers. You'll have to watch the video to see what I'm going to talk about in that. But, guys, it's definitely... the nation's running out of smaller notes that night. The nation ran out of smaller donation notes that night. Okay, I didn't know that. Again, I was trying to read a lot of this shit. There's so many fucking sources to go by and so many things to read up on. I was all over the place with it. I was trying to fucking, find a good source. And I found some good sources, but, again, there's a lot to read. There's a lot of shit that goes on. There's so many articles saying why they shouldn't have done it, There are a lot of articles saying that this is a lesson to learn from. So I think that a lot of big countries and nations, rather, are looking at this and going, okay, it didn't work that well in India. We won't do it that way. Nigeria definitely fucked up, so we're not going to do it the way they did it. And in China, they did it about the right way, according to them, because China's been doing it for decades now. This is not new to them, and the Chinese prefer the cashless living, the cashless society. They prefer it, but they still have yuan. So they didn't give up. The Chinese didn't outlaw their money or their cash yet. They're looking to do it, but they're doing it in a slower pace. Now, this is important. Today, 90% of central banks around the world are developing a central bank digital currency system. 62% are experiencing a proof of concept stage, or they're at the proof of concept stage. Sorry, right? So, again, 90% of central banks, guys, are already developing it. A few of them are coming out this year, but 62% are doing a proof of concept. If 90% of the countries around the world, guys, are developing a CBDC, this is a giant red flag that the WEF and the elites are all over this. Their fingerprints are all over this. All over this. But nobody wants to believe that. They're like, well, this is just a better society. 90% of the countries around the world, third world countries and all, are considering this. The countries that can't afford to do this are doing this shit. That tells you that they have fucking backings from the fucking higher ups, whoever the elites are. Now, the elites are not, like I said in my last video, they're not Klaus Schwab or George Soros. They're just mere mascots, puppets, guys on the string, the face. People who are doing this, guys, they're not, people who are doing this, they are behind the scenes. They're never to be seen. We won't know who they are. If we want to take out our frustrations on somebody, we won't know who they are. Now, can we find out who they are individually? We absolutely can. But we got to dig deep, dive hard, send in spies, the whole 9 yards, to find out who these people exactly are. And then we can get to that point where we can find out who they are, expose them, and then deal with it from there. So, guys, again, Nigeria went about it the wrong way, and India definitely went about it the wrong way. India, Nigeria are lessons. So we're looking at them and going, we're not going to do it that way. Excuse me. Now, the share of countries developing a CBDC or running a pilot doubled from 14% to 26% between 2020 and 2021. So again, more countries are on board. Now, the countries that are going cashless, like completely cashless, Sweden, Brazil, China, Nigeria, already there, Finland, South Korea, Australia, India, the UK, Canada, Netherlands, Cambodia, some West Indian islands, such as Jamaica, Bahamas, Eastern Caribbeans, and many U.S. companies, guys, are cashless. So, how do we fight the cashless bullshit? What is the solution? The solution, guys, is don't go to any business that is dealing in a cashless, that has a cashless operation. If they do, walk out. You don't need a fucking salad from Chopped that badly that you need to use their reverse ATMs. Now, reverse ATM, guys, a lot of people are like, what's a reverse ATM? If you ever went to an arcade in the last 5 years, maybe 10, if you've ever been to an indoor water park that has an arcade, those are reverse ATMs. You know that you can't put coins in these machines anymore, so they have you use these cards that you swipe. That's a reverse ATM. And they've been around for years. I'm like, what's a reverse ATM? And, a couple weeks ago, I was like, what's a reverse ATM? And somebody explained it to me. I'm like, oh, like those fucking machines at like Kalahari and, Greyfoot Lodge or whatever it is. That's all it is. But it's still bad. Now, a reverse ATM at a arcade, I'm willing to deal with because, they've been around for years. But if Five Guys all of a sudden went cashless, I wouldn't be eating at Five Guys anymore. I'll be eating at fucking Muhammad's, Roach Coach on the corner because I'd rather deal with Muhammad than fucking deal with these assholes. A lot of the stores here, guys, they do not deal in cash now. Don't eat there. Simple. Carry more cash. Avoid the self-checkouts. I love the self-checkouts, but now I'm not going through those anymore. I'm using cash as well. I'm using cash where I can. But I'm really terrible at it. For over 10 years, I haven't carried cash on me. I have cash here and there, but now I'm starting to carry it more. That's the solution, guys. Carry cash. Avoid the cashless businesses here in the United States. Avoid them. You walk in, they're like, we only accept ATMs and debit cards. Walk right the fuck out. Now, obviously, if it's something you really need, it's an emergency or something, so be it. But teach them a lesson. Stop carrying fucking your debit cards and your credit cards. Use those in emergencies. We can't give into this shit because we're going to make it easier for them. They're going to look at it, guys, and go, whoa, 90% of Americans right now are not using cash. Maybe we should get rid of the cash. And that's how it starts. They start looking at the numbers. And or they force us like India and Nigeria did. They force you to do it. Now, those two countries were forced to do it. And people adapted. There was a little bit of a pushback with Nigeria. They did raise their weekly cash allowance, but that was all that happened. But here in the States, that's not going to go down that easy. There are too many motherfuckers that rather deal in cash. Listen, there are people who want to deal in cash because they just don't want to be seen. Now imagine, guys, a prepper trying to buy what they want in a cashless society, part of the CBDC. You can't be a prepper and be a part of the CBDC. You just can't. Because all the shit you're going to order is going to be tracked. Every dime you spent is going to be tracked. They're going to look at you and be like, why the fuck is Jimmy the Dick Face buying so many MREs? I'm going to do a longer video on the Angry Prepper channel about preppers and the CBDC. But just talk about it a little bit. They're going to track everything, guys. They're going to look at Jimmy the Dick Face and wonder, why is he buying so much ammo? And then the next time you go to purchase ammo, they shut it down. The next time you go to buy a box of MREs, they shut it down. Right? So, it can be. That's exactly it. You can't be in the CBD system and buy any of that shit. You cannot be a prepper in the CBDC and buying prepper-related shit. You want to buy other things? Fine. But you can't be in that, because then they know exactly what you're buying. They know exactly what you're buying. Man, he bought fucking 25 cases of MREs. What the fuck? Right? So, don't do that. Don't be a part of that system. It's bad. It's bad enough, guys. They track our spending. They're now tracking what you're buying and how much of you're buying. And if they don't like it, they shut it down. Yes, Amazon does track everything, but when there's a giant EMP or a solar flare, Amazon's toast. At least I hope so. You know, I hope they're toast. They're very convenient. They're very convenient, but they're also the enemy. Oops, autocorrect is bullshit. Yo, yeah, autocorrect is bullshit. You know when you try to curse? Like you try to type in fuck, it says duck. You try to type in fuck this shit, it's, you know, duck this shot, you know, because it autocorrects. That's the computer trying to take away your free speech. Clearly it knows you're trying to curse, but for whatever reason it puts duck in there, or shot. Can't say shit, can't say fuck. Shit, fuck, piss. I'm pretty sure if I put in shit, fuck, piss, it'd be shot, duck, pose, you know? Or pistol, for that matter. Dodge this wrench. But anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go off the air. I still got 2 videos I need to edit and upload, and my internet's been acting really fucking weird lately. I might have to get a whole new system, but I shall see. You know, hopefully I don't have to. Hopefully I can reboot it. Yes, your phone is, Mackenzie, yes, your phone's tracking everyone too, but listen, you can always leave your phone behind, but once you're part of the CBDC, your phone is your credit card, or the chip in your hand, or the biochemical tracking system via nanoparticles or nanotech in your body, right? So that's coming. I know they've been working on something similar to that. They inject it in your body, and your whole body is like an RFID chip. So whenever you walk through a doorway, it scans your body and knows exactly who you are, what you're there to buy, and tells you what aisle it's in. It's going to be some crazy shit. Now, we won't see that in our lifetime. That'll probably be in our kids' lifetime. Nonetheless, they are working on it now, so that when they start their shit, they can implement it. But that's going to take years, because there's a lot of drawbacks to nanotechnology, especially nanotechnology that over repairs. Can over repair, make you into a super soldier. Can over repair and kill you. Can put too much of some shit in your body. So there's a lot of the drawbacks with nanotechnology right now, but there's a lot of promising shit with nanotechnology, like fixing your eyes so that you can see, fixing your spine so you can walk again. Those are the good things about nanotechnology. But nanotechnology is very traceable. They can track you. Now, some of the stuff that they're working on, the more organic nanotechnology, is shit that does a repair and then leaves your body. Supposedly leaves your body through a way of pissing or shitting it out. So there is that. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go off the air. Thank you tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for the donations. I will see you guys next Tuesday. I should be on next Tuesday. I shouldn't have any problems or anything getting in the way. So I'll see you guys next week. All right, guys? Thank you. If I can find this fucking arrow thing.